Good morning, I'm Kay Gregory and this is your morning news fix for Friday the 15th of December. In this update, a sign of a weakening economy. GDP fell 0.3% in the September quarter, a much worse result than most economists expected. The June quarter figures were also revised down from 0.9% to 0.5% growth. Former Reserve Bank economist Michael Riddell says while immigration is pushing economic activity up, large interest rate increases are doing the opposite.
That 500-point increase has happened really quickly in a way that's quite unprecedented, and that's been acting to pull things down.
The Green Party says the government's happy to scrap the clean car discount without offering an alternative to reduce emissions. The policy has been repealed following a third reading in Parliament. The policy subsidised the purchases of electric vehicles by charging a tax on purchases of polluting vehicles. It led to a massive uptake of EVs. Green MP Julianne Genter says the policy was working.
The new national government has not put forward a single credible policy to help us achieve the targets they say they support.
Vladimir Putin has held his first major press conference since invading Ukraine. He fielded questions from journalists and ordinary Russians in a largely choreographed event. War has continued since Russia invaded Ukraine in February 2022. The Russian president says they have to take action, including military action.
Peace will come when we reach our goals that you have mentioned, and coming back to the goals, they remain unchanged.
Signs of a continuing gender divide in the infrastructure sector. The Infrastructure Commissioners found women only account for 11% of the total infrastructure workforce, compared to around 47% of the overall workforce. It also found there's a similar number of younger and older women, suggesting gender balance won't change as older workers retire. Director of Economics Peter Nunn says there's a key opportunity from this to address capacity and capability gaps in the sector.
We're constantly hearing from people that it's difficult to find workers. There's an opportunity to go and look at basically another half of the New Zealand workforce that hasn't really been tapped into so far.
Significant strides forward for women's sport, and the numbers back it up. A new evaluation report released by MB shows that for every $1 spent on the FIFA Women's World Cup this year, New Zealand saw a return of $1.34. It returned a net benefit of over $100 million. World Cup Special Projects lead Hannah Keat says it exceeded everyone's expectations.
The audiences that it drew in, families as well as traditional sort of men spectators, which was really exciting.
That's news. On to sport now. And Australian opener David Warner has all but guaranteed his Test cricket farewell will stretch to Melbourne and Sydney after posting 164 on the first day of the opening match against Pakistan in Perth. The hosts were 346 for 5 at stumps. Adi Savi has claimed the top prize at New Zealand Rugby's annual awards, winning the Kel Tremaine Gong as best player. I'm Kay Gregory and that's your latest news fix. We'll be back with the next update at midday from the Newstalk ZB newsroom.